How much money are you losing to your competitors? And that's a great question, which maybe you can answer, maybe you can't. But it's something I really think you need to take deep thought about. And in this video, I'm going to hopefully press a few buttons that make you think about this question a lot differently and how important it is to your business. How quick you react and contact, and this is not just when a lead comes into your business through a lead magnet or whatever it is, and you send an email saying, thanks, here's your lead magnet. What I mean now is how quickly can you engage with them? Now that is either by ringing them or using maybe AI to communicate with them. So many businesses are slow. And there was a study recently, I forget the company which did it, but for service-based businesses, the average response time is 47 hours. Now, I just want you to think about that for a second. 47 hours. That's nearly 2 days. Now, I don't know if you're like me at all, but if I'm searching for something and want an answer to something, or looking for information, or want to do something, if I don't get an answer pretty much in 60 seconds or less, 5 minutes maybe maximum, I'm off to the next search. And this is a case. So many service-based businesses are leaving a ton of money on the table because they're not responding to the leads quick enough. Now, I want to give you an example of this. One of my clients is a property training company, very successful, and what we're finding is the sales team, they have a sales team, and basically the sales team weren't keeping up with the leads. So leads were coming in, generating probably about 1,000 leads a month. Now you've got to remember, a salesperson, a appointment setter, is working probably 8 to 5 p.m. hours. So you've got virtually 2/3 of the day that the phone isn't being manned. Now, I don't know if you're like me, but when you're searching for something, a lot of people do this at night. So what happens, and this is a big thing I want you to take away from today's video, is if you're advertising on something like Facebook or YouTube or Google Ads, what happens is as soon as a lead comes into your ecosystem, then if you set up what we call a conversion event in Facebook, that signal now is going to go right across Facebook's algorithm to other people in similar businesses. So what happens is, as soon as one of your clients, one of your prospects has opted into your list, chances are your competitors are going to start putting their ads because of Facebook's algorithm in front of that person. So it's a race to who is the quickest. Now I want to emphasize something here, really important. You could be the best business in the world, but if you're not quick to respond, and I see it all the time, that your competitors who may have an inferior product, service, whatever it might be, are winning the business. Now, this is becoming more and more critical. In today's society, we all want this instant gratification. Think about 10 years ago, for people who are that old like me, pre-Amazon days, you buy something online, it'd take a week to arrive and you were happy with that. Now, everything's instant gratification. You want everything quickly. But you buy some Amazon, you get it the next day. People expect that now. And if you're not communicating with your leads quicker and engaging them than your competitors, you're going to lose them. And if you're spending a ton of money on Facebook, I'm sorry to want to break the bad news to you, but you're leaving or losing potentially a lot of money on the table because you're not efficient. Now, there's a couple of ways around this. Is either you've got to employ a really good setter team. This is humans on the phone, manning it 24/7, and that can become very expensive to have someone manning phones. Obviously, it depends on how many leads you're generating, but if you're spending a lot of money on Facebook ads or Google ads, a setter was going to cost you probably £3,000 a month, and you would probably be spending somewhere in the region of £10,000 a month to have a set around the clock. And most small businesses can't afford that. The option B is using AI. Now, a lot of people, as soon as I say AI, they're going to go, oh my God, AI, I don't want AI talking to my customers, blah, 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 all this sort of stuff. And you've got to get over yourself. To give you an example, we put AI in one of our other clients. This is a client who is basically a counselling. They offer counselling courses in the States, and they're generating probably 300 or 400 leads a month on average, doing mainly meta ads. And they were just not getting the leads engaged quick enough. And they were spending a lot of money, probably spending, I think it's about $8,000 a month on Facebook ads, and not really getting there. They're making a little bit of money on it, but not for that sort of ad spend of how much they should be making. So we decided to put two things in place. And this was a real battle with the owner, because the owner is quite old school, not technical, probably not a great fan of AI. And I said, look, let's just try this we'll put a quarter of the leads, any new leads, we'll put a quarter of them through the new funnel where we're going to respond with AI. And we'll leave the 3/4 as it is. So what we did is split the budget into 3/4 into the existing system, quarter into the new system, the AI generator system. In the AI generator system, what would happen is as soon as a lead came in, within 60 seconds, we would send an SMS message to them, and that would ask 3 qualifying questions about where they were, what they were looking for. Because what had happened in the past is the sales team was speaking to a lot of unqualified leads. And when we tried to qualify leads on the Facebook forums, we were getting a huge drop off, and the leads were coming really prohibitively expensive. So SMS kicks in, engages with the lead within 60 seconds, asks 3 questions. If they're qualified, then we'll book on the calendar, all automatically, no human input whatsoever. The first month we did this, we got 120 leads come in, 64 engaged with the bot, and 27 booked a call. Now, compared with the other side, which had 3/4 of the leads going in, they had about, I think it's 470 leads, and they booked, I think it was about 45 calls. So with a quarter, we'd booked well over probably 3 times as much calls doing that. That was month 1. So we thought, let's try and refine this a little bit further. And what we did then is we used a 2-step approach, which was SMS going in within 60 seconds, and then we would leave it for 30 minutes. If they haven't responded to SMS, then we'd use voice AI. Outbound, I can't say that, voice AI, which would kick in and ring the client. Fast forward another month, had, I think it's 174 leads, something like that. It was between 170 and 180 leads. And they got 49 people booking a call by using a 2-pronged approach. So we improved the whole process by having 2-pronged approach. Because you've got to remember, you've got to communicate with your audience on the terms they want to, on platforms they want to communicate with. Some people want to do it on a text. Some people like speaking on a call. So we're now just at the stage where we're starting to roll it out across. My client, I'll keep a name private to hide the innocent, and it's really chuffed. She's bought into the idea. We played back some of the scripts, how the AI responded, and to be honest, I would say 98% of the time you wouldn't know it was AI. So really good responses to them, and we're going to roll this forward to the rest of the database. So what I want you to take away from this is you need to be quick. It's not necessarily that you've got a better service that you're going to win the business. If you're not quick and your competitor's quicker, chances are, and the stats are, 68% of people will go with the first responder. And again, the caveat to that is it doesn't necessarily need to be the cheapest, the best, whatever. It's the first responder. So you've got to really change your mindset in what can I do in my business to be the first responder to the leads I'm bringing in.